I have something a little different for us today, folks. Got this Subaru. I believe it's a 2019. Yeah, 2019. And the guy said his TPMS light came on, but not for low tire pressure. TPMS error, and then they all quit working. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't fixed many TPMS problems on a Subaru. Honestly, I don't fix many TPMS problems on and beyond that of a bad sensor. Everything on the fob works. So that's something I always think about whenever.
See my flexibility.
Whoa, dude. That's something I think about because oftentimes the receiver for TPMS and your key fob is similar, or the same module in some cases. So we're going to use the Altel, the ITS 600. Yeah, ITS 600. It's just a TPMS tool, so we can trigger the pressure, we can trigger the sensors, we can read codes. It's not the fastest thing out there as far as doing that, but it's where we're going to start. We'll see what it has for codes. We'll check, see if sensors work. Maybe this is what these things do when just one sensor goes bad. It's got 140,000 on it. Waiting for it to bin here. My experience, most TPMS sensors are like, I don't know, somewhere between 7 and 10 years before they conk out. Well, let's see. So there's two different frequencies this could be. 2013 to 2019, 2018, 2025. So it can be a 315 or a 433, which case I don't know. So I'm just going to select one, then I'm going to go try to trigger one. I can't imagine they're all dead. We'll see if we can figure out which one. So that's curious. Just the left front's not working. These ended up being 433 megahertz. Let me see if I can toggle through his menu here. Okay, there's our TPMS. Yeah, he said none of them display. That's our TPMS warning. Which I guess that's why I thought it might be a bigger deal. I just thought it might be something more than just a bad sensor. Let's just go one rip around the block. I'd be surprised if it turned all four of them off. That's kind of unusual for just a single failed sensor. Well, let me throw my seatbelt so we can see that monitor. That's kind of interesting. None of the pressure's populated at all. Kind of strange. I'm sure if we look in service data, it probably tells us something. It's going to read codes over here. It says it has 10 codes in it. Seems kind of odd for just... let's see. Oh, okay. So it changes. Interesting, yeah. Wheel position sensing abnormal. All four transmitters, no data received. Tire pressure decrease. It looks like it has every code it can throw. Seems kind of random, right? It says they're all current. So just for grins and giggles, I did clear the codes out of it, so there's no codes left in it. It shows the transmitter IDs that we scanned, and then it shows the transmitter IDs that it pulled from the, from the computer through the data link, and everything matches. Well, obviously, except for the left front that's not working. We're gonna go for a rip there again. The light is not on currently. I'm just kind of curious if the rest of the three populate here. I don't know, I just don't want to just put a sensor in if there's something else going on here. We have some dashes now, kind of interesting, because that left front was the one that wasn't working according to when we were scanning it there. This might be one of those cars you need to drive like 10 or 15 miles with. Nothing's populated. I think I've gone more than a mile. I mean, most cars we drive, you get to the end of Main Street, eighth of a mile from the shop, and everything populates. I don't really want to make a mountain out of a molehill, so I think I'm going to go back, just rescan them. the left front's not working, I'm just going to put a sensor in it and relearn it. Probably just clone the ID that's already in it, and we'll take it for a longer drive, I guess. Let's see, we're back to check. Right front. Right rear. Left rear. When I first checked them on the parking lot, I wasn't getting this left rear to work. And then when I went around it the second time, it did. So that's kind of weird. And it looks like now this left rear may not be working. But that's what happened initially when I told you guys I was out checking to see which frequency it was. At back here in this left wheel, I tried them both. Neither one worked. Went to the left front. Neither one worked. So then I went to the right side of the car. Let's see here. See if this one miraculously works. Yeah, so this is what I had initially, even though I don't think I shared that with you, is that neither of them on the left side were working initially, but both right sides would trigger pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that's the same case we have right now. So that seems to be the case, that both the left ones do not function. And like I say, that's what I found initially. One of those cases, I don't know what do. Do you do all four? I guess we could leave it up to the customer, see what they say. It's curious that it doesn't populate any of them on the dash, and it didn't turn on the light in about a 2-mile drive-ish. I think it's about 2 miles just up there and back. Seems kind of weird to me, but you know, obviously there's a problem. So we're going to use Alltel sensor. I've had great luck with those. I've used them for several years now. We're going to go to programming, and we're just going to copy the ID that was pulled out of the computer here. So we're going to go to copy by OBD. We're going to hit OK. Just keep the sensor near it. Keep other sensors away. It's going to look for it. It will tell you if it detects more than one sensor. Usually it pops up and says one sensor detected. Would you like to program? But apparently the latest update, it skipped that portion. So right now it's just writing the data to the sensor that I've got back here in the box, and then I'll go pop that one in the left front wheel, and we'll do the same thing here after that's done. Okay, so it just wrote the data to that, and then it confirmed that it wrote the correct hex. So we'll go LF on that one. I'll set this one over out of the way. We'll grab a new box here. We'll write RF, or I'm sorry, left rear. I don't know what I just wrote on that other box. Might have been something wrong. And then I just highlight that one. Oops, I don't want to do copy by input. I want to do copy by OBD. And then that'll do the same thing. Did I put left front on that other sensor? Look at me go. So it's writing the data to that one. So after that's done, I'm gonna go get these popped in, and then I guess we'll just go for a rip there, bud. Sensors are replaced. Here's the two sensors. I just use a pair of side cutters, chop them out. So there's both of those. They're in. Wheels are torqued. 35 psi in the front, 33 in the rear. So service data said I never checked the door, but we'll see what the door says. Probably something very similar if I had to take a guess. Let's go for a rip. So we're just taking off down Main Street here. Our trip is at 6.4, so we'll see how many miles it takes for them to populate, if they populate. I don't have to go very far, about 0.2 miles. Like I said, we didn't even make it to the gas station. That's typically what happens, so. All right, well that's pretty interesting. I wonder how long you have to drive for the light to come on. Oh, yeah, because we've only gone just that little bit. I mean, you guys see less than half a mile, and when they're working, they all populated. But I don't know what their fault tolerance is. You know, how far do you have to go before it deems a fault? apparently more than a couple miles, because I think that's what we drove last time. Well, I'm just going to go around the block here and go back and park it, because we seem to have it fixed. Well, that's it. Strange one. Well, not really, but it is what it is. Well, I guess I didn't mean to drag you along on something silly. No sense in showing you putting the sensors in the wheels. We've done that before. I guess we've done other TPMS videos before. And, you know, it's a matter of breaking down the bead and cutting the old sensor off, popping the stem out, and, you know, pulling the new stem in. You know, why it had all the bizarre codes and stuff, I'm not really sure. Like I say, I've never really fixed much on a TPMS system. Some of the GMs, the module there, I think it goes through the driver door or KFE module, something like that. We've done those where we've had to, you know, replace that and then just go through and relearn the sensors to it. You know, it quits working, key fobs quit, everything quits. But other than that, never really done much with TPMS systems. So, well, I guess Fords, when you do the one module nose, just again, just a matter of retraining them. But that's it. And then in this case, you know, the two left side sensors went bad. Car is 6 years old. It seems a little bit premature, in my opinion. You know, I'm just going to advise the customer. I couldn't get a hold of them, so I'll just advise them if, you know, if one of the right side ones goes, just do the other two. Or, you know, when he comes to pick his car up, it needs oil change, needs some other stuff while it's here. But, you know, I'll give the choice to him at that point. Hey, do you want us to do the other two? He works here locally, so he can just drop the car off on his way to work. And, you know, we could do the other two. Totally up to the customer. That's usually my advice to them. When they come in and that car's in that 7 to 10 year old range, has one sensor goes bad, you know, hey, we can do this one, it'll get your light out. But in another month, if another one goes bad, why don't we just, you know, bang out the other three? Unless you're getting rid of the car or something. It's not a requirement here in New York State to have that working. It's not a requirement for state inspection or anything, which I'm surprised, because the state usually gets us for everything. But they don't make us have a functioning tire pressure sensor. However, if you are a shop and you knowingly disable it by putting in regular rubber stems, it's a $10,000 fine if you get caught doing it. You should read the laws on that. It's pretty bizarre. There are situations when you can disable it in emergency situations, no parts availability, things of that nature. So it's really bizarre. The first person that pointed out to me, I said, that's BS. That is not a law. And then I started looking into it. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. But I don't know. I don't think that the valve stem police are going to be stopping by anytime soon. Hopefully not. I think there's bigger fish to fry out there other than the guy putting in a regular valve stem in his wheel. Because back when I was a kid, we didn't have these sensors in your rims. Can't wait to tell my grandbabies that. You tell me something in that comment section that was different when you were a kid. This should be fun. Insta, Facebook. And just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.